Yo, everybody, what's up? I'm Antoine Harris, your host of Life on the Court podcast. Welcome back to the show, and thank you for joining. On this particular episode, we're just going to talk about, Black history. Like, what does that mean to you, right? But before we dive in, just for someone who's new to the show, the premise of the show is to, when we have guests, is to find those individuals who are professional at not giving up on their dream. But then also they're giving us tips, tools, and strategies to get through life within your court. When I come on by myself, I'm going to give you just thought-provoking ideas, tips, tools, and strategies to deal with life in your own court. So for all my new guests, that's the premise of the show. And let's dive into Black History Month. I wanted to do this episode on the last day of Black History Month on purpose, because I'm just curious, like those who are listening, what do you think about Black History Month? What does it mean to you? When we see it plastered, all over social media, national media, it's in some schools, it's not in some schools. Like, how do you feel about that? Me as a African American or Black American or melanated individual, one of the things I like to think about is, being more present, right? Not thinking too far in the past, not thinking too far in the future. However, I do recognize that, some of the things that I've done in my own life, like I feel like I'm Black history myself. I'm Black history in the making. And some of the things, a breaker of generational curses. And, those things are to be celebrated as well. So just, yes, there has been some trailblazers in our lives that has really helped move the needle forward. But what about you? What about yourself? What have you done in your life that you have considered that you are Black history in the making? Have you thought about that? Are you so focused on the past? What about some people in recent history that you may look up to or who inspire you? How do you feel about that? A lot of people don't get the recognition even in entrepreneurship. There are barriers being broken in the entrepreneurship world, in the speaking world, in the educational world that haven't been, talked about. However, it's honestly not on them to talk about it. What about you? Just recognizing it and how you are putting your staple in your community, putting your staple, even in your family, your life, that you are history in the making. And I feel like that, like I said, on myself. For one thing, in a couple months, I'll be celebrating 20 years since I had heart surgery back when I was a sophomore in high school. And one of the things that I've done is kind of reached out to the surgeon who performed the procedure for me to thank him, because I probably wouldn't be here today talking about everything that I talk about on Life on the Court podcast, but I am. And that's special thanks to the awareness of knowing that I had an issue with my heart, and then having the guts to go through with the procedure so that I could be here today to talk about it. So I'm really excited about talking to Dr. Fisher again, who was able to perform that procedure for me back in 2002. And, when I talk about like history in the making, Black history in the making, that's definitely me and a lot of the things that I've accomplished in my own life. So I challenge you guys this week, just to look back, maybe a day, because like I said, I wanted this to air this cast on the last day of Black History Month. But with that being said, tomorrow starts Women's History Month. So, I want us to all acknowledge and be able to shout out the trailblazers, the women, the pioneers in our country and our world that have paved the way for other women and all of us. There is someone to be thankful for uh, when it comes to Women's History Month, and then to just acknowledge and admire for that. So back to you guys and having that thought process, the think tank, maybe unplugging for an hour just to think about, like, what is it that I've done in my own life that I can celebrate as me basically saying that I am Black history in the making, or there are some things that I've done that nobody in my family has done, whether it's in the career field, if it's in sports, if it's money. Maybe you're the first person in your family to make six figures annually, right? That's something to celebrate. Again, those are the things that you want to be grateful for on today, looking back on the month. And like I said, it's cool to look back on the people who are trailblazers, but what about you? You're a trailblazer yourself. So acknowledge that and don't be shy about it. Be unapologetic about it and recognize that you have more to go. You have more barriers to break in your own life. You have more history to make in your own life. So just go after it. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that today, with the last day of Black History Month. I just want to inspire you guys just to look back on your own life and what you have done, what you can be thankful and grateful for. And you could acknowledge that you are Black history in the making. So thank you guys all for listening to today's episode of Life on the Court podcast. I know that looking back on your life and see how you are history in the making can really help you. Just again, maybe even push you forward in some of the things that you want to do. All right. So if you want to reach out to us at the Antoine Harris Group and learn more about what we do, how we help students develop, how we help teachers, how we help school communities in the classroom culture, please visit our website at www.antoineharris.com. That's www.antwonharris.com. You can reach us via email at info@antoineharris.com, or you can follow us on Instagram at coach.aharris for Instagram, and then on Twitter, Antoine Harris 21, and on Facebook, Antoine R. Harris. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.